Should you hire a Filipino VA? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. We're talking about virtual assistants. And right now, especially in 2021, where this is May of 2021 that we're recording this, and right now it's very difficult to find good help in the United States. Basically because of a whole mess of a situation to where people were out of jobs, people were given money by the government, everyone's been given money, everything's gone up in price, and there's a relative feeling of temporary security for a lot of people who don't have jobs. And so everywhere you look, there's hire here, hire there, so on and so forth. Everyone's looking to hire, and very few are looking to work at this particular time. Now, this is going to change, obviously, but in the short run, you may be looking at other options. One of the options you may look at is hiring people from out of the country, which I've done before. I have experience with. Specifically, I've worked with people in the Philippines. You can, to find out really more from an expert, one that I'd recommend is Jonas, and I'll have a link below for his in the description for his website. You can go check him out. He goes through much more detail, has a lot more back history on how to go about hiring a Filipino virtual assistant. Now, if you're looking for somebody specific, I'm going to give you a great example. So there was a lady named Kimberly who reached out to me over my Facebook profile and said she'd be interested in talking to me about being an assistant. I told her right now I'm not looking to particularly hire one, but in the future, perhaps the near future, I may be looking at hiring one. And I'd love to talk with her if she'd be interested in talking with me. So we set up a time, we got on a Zoom call. I was meeting with her Pacific time. This would have been 3 p.m. For her time, it was 6 a.m. Okay, so you could hear roosters crowing in the background. And she said, I'm sorry, it's 6 a.m. here. I said, no problem. I appreciate you getting on with me. And we had a great conversation about what she was looking for versus what I was looking for. And I just kind of picked her brain just with my experience dealing with workers out of the Philippines in previous times, and I knew kind of the type of questions that I was looking to ask. A few of the things you may want to keep in mind when hiring outside the country, and specifically in the Philippines. It's a very different culture. It is there's a lot of English speaking there, but not necessarily American English speaking. And so it's good if you can get a chance to be able to talk one-on-one with that person. Over Zoom is a great option. They may have some other option where you can talk. It'll give you an idea of how good they are at English. Depending on where they're from and their experience, you'll have varying degrees of levels of English that they speak, because they also speak a number of other languages there in the Philippines. Another thing you want to keep in mind is their internet is not always the best, depending on where they're at. If they're in one of the larger cities like Manila, in that surrounding area, they tend to have a little bit more reliable internet. I had a talk with Kimberly, and she gave me an idea of what she faces. Even though she's out in the country, she had a couple backups, which was really interesting. Now, she was one of the things I wanted to know was her experience. So her experience level was she'd been working for about 5 years in areas of e-commerce and areas of being a virtual assistant, an executive assistant specifically, and doing various things, also being a project manager. And so I really picked her brain to find out which she was best at, because a lot of these are very different types of things. And sometimes, especially early on, they'll jump in and take anything when there's areas that they do better at. And so I wanted to know the areas that she enjoyed doing the most, the areas she felt most confident in. And so if I were to hire her in the future, I have a very specific idea of the type of things that I'm going to be hiring her for. These are all things that I was looking for ahead of time, and we had a great conversation. Now I recorded this conversation, and I want to give you the chance to be able to hire Kimberly because she seems like a great person, and I think it'd be a great experience for you to be able to work with her. If you're interested, I'm going to put my email address right here. This is the only place you can get it, right here for a short period of time. There it is. So write that down, rewind it if you need to. If you're listening to this, you're going to have to go search out the YouTube video on hiring a Filipino VA. Go and check it out at my YouTube channel, and you can see my email address. I don't want to say it out loud, and I do not want to put it anywhere in writing because I don't want any robots picking it up and getting spammed. But in the meantime, you can go type in my email address, put in the subject line Kimberly. Subject line Kimberly. Let's see if you could follow directions. And I will send you the video with her contact info so that you can get in touch with her. I told her I would be passing this along to some friends, and hopefully you get this, and hopefully we can keep this up for as long as possible. Even after she gets hired, I wouldn't mind sending you the video. So if you're getting this years in the future, don't worry about it. If you'd love to see the video, it'd be a good education for you if you've never hired someone from the Philippines. This is a great example of somebody who I think would make a good hire. No guarantees on my end because I just met her. We just met randomly over Facebook. So there's a little tip from me to you. Hopefully that's helpful. If you'd like help with strategy in your business to really stand out, how to get out there and stand out and defeat the competition, go check out my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. You get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Come on back. Love to hear your questions and concerns and comments. Have you hired anyone from the Philippines or from anywhere else? Leave a comment wherever you're watching or listening to this. You have a great night. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.